to eat.
Yeah, so just what is your food personality and are you stuck with it? For more on this, we're joined by Dietitian Tara Diversi. Tara, good morning. How important is it to identify your food personality and where does it all start?
So I think it's important to identify how, what, when you eat and the types of settings that changes. And if you fit into one of these personality types that we're talking about, that's great. But otherwise, just an awareness is fantastic.
And where does it come from?
Well, like everything, it starts as in childhood or, you know, from past experiences. So if you've got a kid that likes to eat a lot of junk food, they're going to end up a teenager who likes to eat a lot of junk food, right, and an adult who likes to eat a lot of junk food. And the same as we get that type of, you know, from our parents of what they're doing. So if mum and dad are, you know, if they're only happy when they're sitting on the couch eating a packet of chips or something like that, we're going to get comfort from that as well.
Okay.
Take us through some of the personalities we're talking about.
I'm a bit scared.
So the one that I like to talk about is the hungry eater, which is represented by this plate here. So those people are the types of people that are hungry all the time anyway. So regardless of how much you feed them, they're the ones where we're sitting around and everyone's saying, whoa, I'm so stuffed. And they're saying, well, does that mean you're not eating that tomato on your plate there? Yeah. So for these people, eating it 3 times a day is probably better than those small meals that we tell people to do to increase their metabolism, because they'll end up eating just 5 larger meals rather than, you know, the 5 small meals like we want people to do.
Okay, that's the hungry personality. Take us through one of the most common food personalities.
So something we see a lot in our practices today is the reactive eater. So with everyone getting busier today, we don't have time to plan our meals, or we think we don't have time to plan our meals and prepare things. So what people are doing is they're just eating on the run. So they won't wake up, won't have breakfast, grab a cappuccino and a muffin. Then at lunchtime they haven't organised anything, so they're grabbing takeaway again, and then they get home from work and they're still feeling busy and will just grab something that they can quickly cook up or get more takeaway or something like that.
Is there, I mean, that sounds quite dangerous and damaging. Is there a more damaging type than that?
Well, I think all of the personality types have the potential to be damaging, but one that we see a lot in our practices is the emotional eater. So these people eat when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're depressed, when they're celebrating. So they use food rather than nourishment. They use it for a reward, punishment, or a celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a health nut personality?
Definitely.
I don't think I'm one of those.
And there are a lot of people.
Eclairs, but move on.
We call it the health nut personality. They belong to a group of like the value eaters. So these people work really hard to eat what they think's right. And although it may seem like this is the great personality that we should all be striving for, there are some dangers here as well, particularly when they're following, you know, advice, or whether they're following rules that aren't exactly healthy, or if they've got them from somewhere that might not be right for them. So it's important that we look at, with these people, particularly if you've got teenagers who all of a sudden, I'm going vegetarian for sustainability, finding out, well, is that the real reason, or is it, you know, covering up an eating disorder or something else?
I've always thought that eating healthily could be bad for you, always.
There is a condition called orthorexia, which is about always having to eat the right food.
All right, just quickly, is there a personality we should aim for? Because you've covered everyone here. Where's the good one?
So the good one can be anyone, and that's what I call the proactive eater. So these people plan what they're eating. They know if they're going to have a treat, they know that they're going to have a treat, not just to shut the kids up or something like that. They make sure that they pack their meals, they go shopping with a shopping list, and they do all of those types of things so that they know what they're eating and they're eating it rather than letting the external environment control what they're eating.
Yeah, it all makes sense, doesn't it? That's the one we should aim for. That's the well-organised person. Thank you, Tara.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for that.
It's good to know what we should aim for.
Absolutely. I'm aiming for the chocolate eclair.
Yeah, stay away from the eclair.
The robbery victim who turned into a secret sleuth.
Right now, though, here's Glenn.
Let me tell you, as a dad, I've seen my fair share of trauma when pimples strike. You know, it seems that there's nothing we can do except cover them up and hope they go away. If only I'd heard of what our next guest says is the solution for helping to control and prevent pimples. Welcome, Kelly.
Hi, Glenn.